Billy
alma
Goose
mater.
University. Where
I
I definitely went there, but I didn't know they
uh
had
You
sweatshirts.
dropped out. You
They have
dropped out.
merch.
It's the only school I've ever finished.
I feel like it's the only school I would be highly successful
They
at.
would. I was chatting with someone who was like top of my class. I was like, I don't know why I lied. I was fourth in my class at Silly Goose University. Feels feels wrong to lie
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
I
Autumn,
have no problem with it.
we're live. Please, we're live. Also, we're in the wrong spot. Daniel, don't
There
we
we
have a
go.
producer?
Daniel.
Well, it's
So hard to
fine.
find good
Our,
free help some days.
I know. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to
Welcome.
Fandom Social. My name is
We need a theme
Paul. This
song.
is Autumn, and we have such a fun show today.
So
We
fun.
we talk about food a lot, so it's very fitting that our one of our get our only guest today, but our
Yeah.
guest will is huge. He's sandwich royalty.
Yeah.
Autumn, I know
I,
we've been very obsessed with his account, and we're very excited to have him
yes.
here.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think that I don't know if you could say we devolve into talking about food often or we evolve into talking about food often, but somehow we end up talking about food a lot. So this is a great food centric episode, and I'm super excited.
It is. And again, if you are here, we'll let all the folks hop in. You know, we want to just bring them up. Hello, Steve, Liza. Hello, Tenchi. Hi, everyone. Janice,
Laura's here.
John,
Yep.
Ragan. Love John. Thank you guys so much for joining. We really appreciate you guys being here. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the
Ooh,
notification
hot
bell.
take from Laura. I like food.
This is a PG-13
Laura.
show.
Yeah,
Please,
Laura. Wow.
Laura.
Calm down.
All right. Well, we are very excited. Our guest is here.
Yes.
I have been obsessed with his account for about 6 to 7 months now. So I'm gonna read a little bit, Autumn,
Restraining order time.
of the what I've got about him. So in 2018, our guest he was a seasoned graphic designer and marketing expert known for his pivotal role in scaling Netflix. He found his true passion in the culinary world through his incredibly successful social media project, Sandwiches of History, inspired by a vintage sandwich recipe book. Barry embarked on a journey across social platforms like Instagram, TikTok. He's got multiple accounts as well. And Barry is here with us showcasing the endless possibilities tucked between two slices of bread. He's been featured on
Let's be the
Today,
bread.
on Taste, on Newsweek. He's a designer, he's a marketer, he's a punk rock music lover, and a global content creation sensation. Most importantly, he is Barry Underwick. Hey, Barry.
Hi.
Welcome.
I won't live up to any of that.
Oh, no. You're
Set
great.
those expectations real high. Ready, go.
He's going to do the worm for us?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to
exactly.
be amazing.
He's going to put on a clinic on breakdancing.
Oh,
I
Barry,
love it.
welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How about yourselves?
Little peckish. I could use a sandwich, I think.
We could do the sandwich. Yeah.
I've had 3 today. I'm good.
I was going to ask, is he like, please, anything but sandwiches with her?
Well, I mean, it's extenuating circumstances. Typically, I make a sandwich and then I edit it and do the thumbnails and write it and post it the next day. But I'm going to be out of town traveling for work, for personal reasons, for a cookbook photo shoot. And so I kind of have to rack them and stack them, if you will. I have to record multiple ones in a day so that I can still hit my goal, my desired goal of having a new sandwich video every day.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you're out,
today I made 3.
3. If you're out in the world and someone like, hey, you want to go get some sandwiches? And you're like, I will not do that if it's for 0 clout. No thanks.
No.
I only eat sandwiches for clout.
That is not true. I actually will go get a sandwich. By the way,
Nice.
the URL is missing an E on the bottom there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Just a heads up, Daniel.
Oh,
but
come on, Daniel.
It was Paul.
Well, that's it. I'm out of here. Forget it.
Daniel's
I'm
here
done.
for.
We're done here.
Are you kidding me?
Unprofessional.
Jeez.
This was our one chance.
Well, Daniel, if you could edit that, we'll bring it back up. But while we do that, Barry, I wanted
There we go.
There we go. I got to let Daniel do the work. So for everyone, Barry is here with us. You can go to sandwichesofhistory.com. It's got a ton of, you've got your merch, your, I believe your Substack is on there as well.
Yeah, it's linked to there as well. Yeah.
And all of your accounts where you can follow Barry. He's on Instagram, he's on TikTok, he's on YouTube. Well, Barry, I want to get to a lot of, honestly, this interview is for me. I brought this to Autumn, and I was so excited. I talk about you at work all the time. I've gotten at least 25 people to follow you. I can name them because
first of all, thank you. Second of all, don't get fired. Like, okay, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it, Paul. But I appreciate it.
I disagree. You are worth it. So, Barry, you mentioned on your website that this whole project, Sandwiches of History, started with your friend Adam giving you a PDF, the up-to-date sandwich book of 1909. There's 400 recipes in there. Barry, can you walk us through just one? That 400 is incredibly daunting. What the process was like of getting that PDF and then starting the actual content creation.
What gave you that spark?
Yeah, so conversations with my friend Adam, he's like, this would be kind of fun to do on social media. I had already been doing In the Chips with Barry for years, where I review potato chips, and that was a lot of fun. Don't get me started. I have I have too many accounts.
What's that account called? Wait, what are those called? Daniel, put it on the screen.
In the Chips with Barry.
In the Chips with Barry.
In the Chips.
And that's on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.
I'm so excited. Okay.
And then I've got Barry is Cooking Again, and that's on YouTube, Instagram, and I think TikTok, yes. And then I've got Barry's Ice Cream O'Clock, which is me making sweet and savory combination of ice cream.
Now you're calling my number. Yeah.
That's on TikTok and Instagram, and then there's one other one.
Wait, what was the ice cream one called? I'm writing these down literally right now.
Oh, sorry. It's called Barry's Ice Cream O'Clock.
Okay.
I don't know why I named it, but
I love it. No, it's fantastic.
So anyway, so Adam and I were chatting. These would be kind of fun to do, and I'm like, yeah, this would be kind of fun to taste these on social media and see how they are. And so that's what I did. I just started making sandwiches from the up-to-date sandwich book of 1909. Yes?
I have a question.
Yes.
A tangent.
Go ahead, Autumn.
And I do this a lot, so I'm going to try to keep it under control. What was your first one you created, and what was your inspiration for that? The first food content channel you made?
The first food content channel I made was In the Chips with Barry. And it was because I was buying these interesting flavored potato chips. I post a picture on Facebook and describe it. And that same friend Adam's like, you should do a vlog. I'm like, okay. So I started out, and it was pretty boring. I started out doing a very boring In the Chips. It was like 2 minutes of me rambling. And then I, through process of going on TikTok, going on Instagram, got it down to where it was a minute long. And I found that when I would force myself with that constraint to edit it down to a minute long, it became kind of funny. And so started to have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, that was the first one. Yes, Autumn, go ahead.
I have a tangent within the tangent. Does Adam inspire a lot of different people to create content channels, or is this exclusively for you, the service that he provides?
I don't know that he does.
Ever heard of Hulu?
And can he come on the show?
I don't think he does. I don't know. I think this is it. I think
I'm fascinated.
I think he's like, hey, this would be kind of fun to do. And he knows that I'm going to be the one who goes like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And so I do it.
And now here we are. You've got over a million. Are you over 1 million followers yet, Barry? Would you say across all your channels? You're getting close.
It's probably 650,000. There's like
that's close.
Oh boy.
I'm so sorry, Barry. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
How many followers?
I didn't know she was going to be here.
How many followers do you think you have between all of your content channels? Not just the sandwiches, but we're just curious.
I have no idea. I've not actually gone and added that up. But Sandwiches of History is far and away the
biggest one.
The predominant, and absolutely.
Do you still create content for the other ones?
Yes,
but or just here and there?
But In the Chips with Barry, I would do 3 episodes a week, and then on the weekend I would do a thing called Can It Sandwich, where I would take the chips and put them between buttered bread to see if they could sandwich. That cadence has gone down to I post a chip review once a week, and the other ones are ad hoc. I do make content for them, but it is very like kind of sporadic. Where Sandwiches of History is every day.
So you're going to have to forgive this because the concept, we have several different types of shows that we do, and one of them is called Passion Project. That's my baby. It's like that was what I'm super excited and interested in, people who create something, whether it's a YouTube channel or Instagram or a podcast or whatever it is. It fascinates me. I love the creative journey and the process and what makes you, we have more questions about how do you stay motivated when you kind of start to feel like it's a job. That's my passion. This is my thing that excites me. And then when you combine it with Paul's thing that excites him, which was this sandwich channels, there's a lot of I'm very excited. So I'm going to try.
There's a lot of energy in the room. A lot of energy.
There's a lot of energy in the room because I could ask you a million questions.
This, Barry.
Yeah. Paul like plans out the questions. Mine are just going to be continuously distracting from Paul's.
You know, so anyway. But it does. But I know her cadence, Barry. So I've written a lot of questions that I know would flow in between the both of you.
Gotcha.
And you mentioned like your friend Adam, and one thing that I kind of wanted to just maybe tackle at the top of the interview is there's always a reference to your partner sometimes who was off screen, your friend Adam. I'm always curious because me and Autumn, you know, have these circles. We have partners who maybe inadvertently influence our content. Does your partner ever influence your content from like the way you dress, from the sandwiches you pick? Like, how do you pick your sandwiches? There's so many.
So first part of the question, not really. She kind of is. She was very leery of this whole thing at first, and is still like, really?
You're gonna do what?
But I will say that she's very, very supportive. Like she said, yes, you should do this. Yes, you
Does she get to eat some of the sandwiches? That would help.
Some of them. She's vegetarian, almost vegan, and so a lot of them are just. No, and you know, it's a lot of them are on white. Yeah. A lot of them are on, it's organic white sandwich bread, but it's still white bread, and she's much more into the whole wheat realm. So not a lot, but yeah, every once in a while we'll make one, and she'll be like, hey, so, but she's not as keen to be on camera. But other than that, no, she's happy to let me be a full goofball that I am. What was the second part of the? Oh, how do I choose sandwiches?
Oh,
yeah, there's so many of them. Like, so how you have a spreadsheet?
Yeah, so I have a spreadsheet where I'm tracking what I've done, and I've got in there the YouTube URL, the name of the sandwich, the book, the year, what the rating was pre plus up, what the rating was post plus up, what the plus ups were, and would I make it again? So I'm tracking all that.
I was just about to ask you, can you tell me the columns? Because I love spreadsheets so much.
We're big on spreadsheets here.
Big spreadsheet fan.
But as far as picking, what I do is I it's kind of like an X, Y, and Z axis, really. There's the X of doing different years day to day, so it's not the same thing. Doing it so that the sandwiches don't have the same main ingredient day, you know, back to back. And then trying to be mindful of using up ingredients before they expire. So you might have noticed a few cream cheese recipes in the last couple of weeks.
That's a
Boston brown bread. I try to minimize any sort of food waste that I can. So it's that kind of swirl. So every week, like on Sunday, I'll sit down and be like, I'll look through the books, I'll look through the PDFs, I'll look through the websites that I access books on, and plan it out, and then go to the store probably 7 times a week because I forget things.
How far in advance do you plan out your menu or your sandwich choices?
Just a week. Although about a week at a time. And I mean, in this case, since I'm going to be traveling next week, I did a little bit further so that I could.
Yeah.
But generally, I plan them out about a week.
Go ahead.
So many questions. Okay. How long about would you say it takes you to make one video, start to finish? Like you've got the ingredients. Like let's not count that because you're doing that kind of as a combo for multiple sandwiches. But like you've got the ingredients, shoot, edit, post, caption, all that. How long would you say it takes?
So the shooting. If I've got my mise en place in place, it's
nice.
You know, really quick. Thank you. It's really quick to do. And if a sandwich is like you have to bake it for 40 minutes, you have to bake it for 40 minutes. But if it's just a regular sandwich, video recording probably takes maybe like 10, 15 minutes. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Editing takes about an hour because I do wide for YouTube and Facebook, and then I do TikTok and Instagram vertical. And also horizontal for Reddit. But then I also I have a subreddit.
I didn't know. Okay. Circle back to that later.
It's going to be a 3-hour show.
Also in the vertical, I do the captions, and I actually do those myself. Because I like to hard code the captions, because then I'm not relying on someone having them turned on. And so when you're scrolling your feed and you see captions, I found that people stop and read them, even if they're not necessarily going to stop on the video. So I learned that on In the Chips with Barry. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hardwire hard caption all my videos.
I love it.
So that takes about an hour, and then that includes writing up the description, the headline, the hashtags, the tags, micro tags or whatever for YouTube, and then uploading YouTube, uploading to Facebook to schedule, and then staging on Instagram and TikTok, and then Reddit. Reddit I have to do kind of just by hand because for some reason I can't schedule there. Yes, go ahead, Autumn.
Anyone else?
Know how to?
Any questions? Any questions?
No questions? Oh my God, yes, Autumn.
Did you know how to do all of this before you started this content creation journey for yourself, or did you learn it along the way? All the editing and the captions and all of that, and optimizing different channels?
Yeah, well, optimizing different channels, absolutely not. I have dabbled in making music and been horrible at it over my adult life. Like I had an Emulator 2 keyboard, sampling keyboard. I had a Mac that had software, editing and stuff like that. So I kind of understand that space. So then when I started working on In the Chips with Barry, for some reason I was using After Effects to edit that. And the good thing about After Effects is the video cuts are very sharp. Whereas with Premiere, there's some easing on the cuts. So it's not as funny if you use Premiere Pro, which is weird, but it's true.
Abrupt cuts. Yeah. It's true.
Those,
the abrupt cuts are funny.
Yeah.
But now I do all my stuff in Premiere Pro, and it's fantastic because I can see the waveform, and I know that's where I'm starting to talk about something. So I just go right to there. It makes video editing pretty easy.
That makes sense.
But I wasn't well versed in it. I've just gotten to know it. And then it's channel optimization is the same sort of thing. It's like trial and error. When I started Sandwiches of History, I started on Instagram, and it was a picture on my feed, and then the making of was in this new thing called Stories, because that's where the video lived. And it kind of just didn't do anything, and I just let it sit for like 6-9 months. I kind of like, this isn't a thing. And then TikTok came along, and I said, well, what if I take those Stories videos, stitch them together, and put them on TikTok? And it blew up, and I'm like, what if I start making new ones of these and just do it every single day? And I started doing that. And then I'm like, well, what if I do this on the wall? Because the wall can now do video on Instagram. What if I try that? And it's serendipitous timing too, because right at the point where Instagram realized TikTok was eating its lunch, they emphasized reels and video. And but it's continuous experimentation. Same with In the Chips.
Yeah.
That's one of the challenges of doing that, is like you can be on a roll and just are creating content. You've got something great down, and then it's like Facebook decides to do something different. Instagram decides to do something different, and you got to keep up. So like it definitely requires you to keep your eye on the ball.
And that's why I've got the multi-platform content strategy, like to do like on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, so that I'm not overly reliant on an algorithm always being in my favor, because people claim like, oh, I can trick the algorithm. It's like, all right, well, good for you. I'm not going to do that. I'm making a sandwich video. I'm posting it every day at noon.
Yep. Done and done.
Yeah.
And,
nice.
Barry, that brings up another pre-scheduled question.
Good luck.
That
shade thrown.
Oh yeah, it's like the giving tree here with the amount of shade on the show. It's great.
Also, I'm shade proof, so knock yourself out.
Is. So, Barry, hearing you talk about channel optimization and understanding your algorithm and sort of how to hack it in a way. I mean, there's obvious care that goes into this. would you be willing to talk about a little bit of your graphic design and marketing background? I know I mentioned at the top that you worked at Netflix on positioning, on selling people things that they may think they don't need, and how that influenced.
That is not, for me, the definition of marketing. Marketing is at its best when it's connecting consumers to something they would actually get value from.
Right.
We're not. But what you're describing is just cold-hearted selling.
Sales. Yeah.
So how did you use what you've learned at your 11 years in Netflix to help with Sandwiches of History?
It's funny, when I sat down when I was going to start doing this, I didn't actively think, what can I take from my experience? But now that I kind of look back on it, one of the things is consistency and evolution and persistence, right? Keep at it, keep trying, do it on a regular cadence, and be who you are, be the brand, be your brand. I'm not consciously trying to be a brand with Sandwiches History, but I'm doing the same sort of behavioral mechanics that a solid brand does, which is being consistent about how they apply themselves, adapting to the different platforms that they're on so that they actually connect with the audience on that platform in a way that audience is open to. So it's subconsciously just kind of came through.
Yeah. It almost becomes a reflex, right? Like this, these instincts that you develop, they almost become a reflex. Autumn's actively in marketing now. We both kind of come from marketing, and things that you may not know just sort of seep their way into your content, into your optimization, and sort of the building blocks of everything.
Yep.
One of the things I love about being a marketer is so many things you didn't realize would be an asset in your in your past come into play. Like different things that, I worked in life insurance for one short-lived year and turned out I hated it. But there are things that I learned there that apply. I know, believe it or not. And I worked, we worked at a comic book shop, and I worked at a collectibles place, and I worked at Taco Bell, and I learned something from each one of those experiences that come into play as a marketer. And I think that's an interesting, I wonder if that's what marketing is, because marketing is so many things and it's very holistic, or if it's, something that everybody has, but it's something I've always been fascinated by. I'll discover a moment and go, this is because of Taco Bell, when I was 15. So
I think that's true. I think there's an element of everything that you do leads up to where you are. Yeah. For better or for worse. But definitely marketing, like my past experiences, a newspaper guy, a newspaper delivery boy, working in sales at a hardware store, working in an indie record store, being a waiter, all those kinds of things feed into
they come into
understanding.
Play.
Yeah. I can 100% confidently say I learned nothing as a janitor at a furniture store. So
that's not true.
I think you did.
No, it's not true at all.
I think you did.
I guarantee you did.
I promise I've learned tons of things that are not.
You learned that you didn't want to be a janitor at a furniture store.
Exactly.
There you
go. And learned tons. Barry, but again, this is a live show. I want to get to a couple of the questions that people have had for you a little earlier on. These are just going to be a little off the cuff here, but Steve Nara asks, I was curious if he's ever had to substitute ingredients that are no longer available. If so, what was it and what did he use as a substitution?
That's a great question, Steve. I have not had, when I run across ingredients that are no longer available, I actually tend to not do the sandwich because I'm not sure, I'm not a food historian, so I don't know what would be an appropriate substitute. I have had to figure out what is a hot oven. Like they'll say, put it into a hot oven for 15 minutes. And it turns out hot oven is a certain temperature range. There's a medium oven, there's a low oven. That's how they used to describe it. Or they would say use, for this recipe, in the ingredients, this is a cream cheese. And it's like, oh, wait, what? And it turns out a cream cheese was 3 ounces. So I've had to do stuff like that and try to
oh, that's interesting.
Figure out, what are they even talking about? But as far as the ingredients,
methods and
as far as the ingredient substitution, thankfully I haven't had to do that. But it was good. It's a good question.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all right, well, we've got Tenchi Masaki is asking, what ingredient has he come to decide should never be on a sandwich?
I've got a couple for you, Tenchi. Let's start off with chopped raw oysters mixed with Worcestershire sauce.
Oh,
What? Did I say something to offend you? No.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
everything you said.
And I think that was my first sandwich, by the way, that I did, because I thought it was like, I like raw.
Surprised you kept going.
I actually like raw oysters, but I'm like, what? And then you mix it with olive oil and you put it on between buttered bread, and it's just like, ugh. And then also there was a sandwich that called for a compressed yeast cake, which is fresh yeast mixed with a little sauce, and it was terrible.
Like still like moist.
You know, the little foil package, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because turns out there was this whole campaign by Fleshman Brothers back in the 1920s because they wanted to boost sales. They got in with a marketing company, and they convinced people that eating yeast was good for you. And so there was this whole thing where people were creating recipes and stuff using yeast.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's insane. Thank you, Tenchi. Thank you, Steve. We have. I want to play this. We have a video, Daniel. We can bring it up in a second. If you guys go to Barry's YouTube, there is an incredible video of, I believe it was of 2022, but of your 10 least favorite or lowest rated sandwiches. One of them being the, I believe, is a faux crab sandwich. Dan, do you want to roll the video really quick? You've got it.
I'll make the filling for our mock crab sandwich. To cheddar cheese, we add creamed butter. And this is cheddar cheese that's just been colored with annatto seed. It doesn't have a different flavor from regular medium cheddar cheese. Then we add in salt, paprika, and mustard, vinegar, anchovy paste, and chopped olives. Get this mixed together. Not sure why you'd have to add salt to olives and anchovy paste, but hey, who am I? And we put that on the bread.
No.
Oh.
No.
I mean,
no.
Anchovy. You ate it, and you reviewed it.
I tasted it, yes.
Daniel, do we have an example of what Barry does sometimes when he doesn't particularly enjoy a sandwich?
Okay, let's give this red kidney bean sandwich a go. Okay, so here's the deal. This is pretty salty, even for me, and I cut all the ingredients proportionally, so this is the right amount of salt for this amount of beans per the cookbook. And flavor-wise, it's not terrible. I mean, it's kidney bean flavor, relish, a little bit of mayonnaise, salt, lots of it. Paprika totally disappears. The thing is, visually, it's horrific. It's like a Pepto-Bismol sandwich. I do think there's one way we can plus this up.
I love it. How many takes? I mean, is that one take?
Yes.
Right in the trash?
Yep.
I would hate for you to dig it out. That's
do it again.
Coffee grounds. No.
Dang it. You're like, it works with the coffee grounds. It's plussed up.
Yeah. I tend not to eat sandwiches after they've gone in the garbage.
That's a good policy.
Yeah. You don't know what you're missing out on. Barry, again, your account being Sandwiches of History. One thing I was really curious about, again, is someone I do either for my primary, for this project. You tend to do like a lot of research. There's a lot of streams crossing. And you do a lot of, obviously, like history content. Then there's an intersection with food content. Like, have you found yourself to be a better cook now because you have your cooking channel, and have you found yourself to be like more of a historian now, even through the lens of what you're reading? Where is this intersection for you? Like, what is your relationship with both like history content now and food content?
So the history is, I started including historical facts based on the year pretty recently, actually, because I thought it would be fun to provide some context for when this sandwich we're about to eat. Because if you just see me make a sandwich, it's just a sandwich and I say a name, it's kind of abstract. If I can be like, so-and-so was born this year, and they're like, holy smokes, that guy's been dead for 20 years. Like, it kind of sets the, like, I've got one sandwich coming up where I talk about how Miami incorporated as a city with 400 citizens. 1896.
So you're learning some cool fun facts along the way.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. As far as the culinary aspect, I think it's the plus-ups came about as Well, first of all, it was the whole concept of plus up was not originally in this. Originally, it was just I'm making these sandwiches and reacting to them. But then I started tasting them, and a few of them were like, well, this is not bad. And if you just added a thing or two, this actually be pretty good. Maybe I want to make it again. So I started this whole concept of I plus them up for the modern palate. But that gives me a chance to kind of flex a little bit because I love to cook. And so I start to think about, how does this, what flavors could go with this? What are complementary? What are contrasting? Is there textural elements that we can bring into the sandwich? Are there other flavors from different cuisines around the world that we can incorporate that wouldn't necessarily be obvious for this sandwich, but would actually work really well? So for me, that the intersection of cooking and plussing up was the chance to kind of, work my mind a little bit and try and come up with ideas.
I love it.
Yeah, and I see in so many of your comments, and I love that a lot of people are like, add bacon to it. And I'm like, that's not it, man. Like it ruins the integrity of the sandwich sometimes.
Yeah. No, bacon is a cheat code. Bacon is a total cheat code. So it would be sandwiches in history plus bacon because you could add bacon to just about any sandwich.
Yeah.
Do you think bacon would have saved that oyster sandwich?
No.
Nothing.
If you scrape out the oysters, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just bacon.
Yeah, if you remove the main ingredient, yes, it would save it.
Add bacon, you're good.
Yeah. And then almost any sandwich.
Yeah, that's true. Almost. Yeah, can't fix them all. Truly.
There are limits. Even to bacon.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, Barry. I watch your content, and you're one of the things that really drew us to you is something that it means a lot to us is your presence, not only on camera but how you interact with your fans is very positive. Is that? I would say it's deliberate in the sense that you seem very kind. We were chatting before this, and you're obviously he's very nice, everyone. He's been very patient with Autumn.
Way nicer than me.
Yeah. That's a nasty rumor I'll thank you not to repeat.
How dare you, sir?
I said good day.
Yeah, I was going to hit you with a glove. Where, at what point, Barry, do you do you have to pull back sometimes, like when you're in your comments and people are so positive, like they're saying so many wonderful things? Do you have to sometimes be like, I can't get to all of them? Like, what is your relationship now with the people who follow you and they are waiting daily for your content?
I think it's pretty good. And you're right. I try to keep it positive. Like we're all trying to have fun here. The whole idea of this is to have fun, to kind of be a break in our day where we just talk about sandwiches and maybe have a laugh, and that's about it. It's not anything big. It's not long. It's not complicated. I try to de-escalate absolutism that can happen with just about any subject, right? It's like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that person should, off a cliff.
Yeah.
That's not even appropriate. Come on, be cool.
It's such an amazing spotlight on people's need to fight. It doesn't even matter what. It's not all people, but there are certain people that just need the fight.
But by and large, people are very positive, even if they don't agree with my plus up. I would have plussed up with this. It's like, awesome. That's great that you're passionate and that you're commenting and you're here, and I appreciate it. And this might
thanks for the engagement.
Well, I mean, no, but they took time out of their day to watch a video I made and then respond to it,
and had feelings about it enough to respond. Yeah,
right. So it's like that's pretty
positive
cool.
Or negative. It's always a positive.
So I spend actually the first, depending on what day. Sometimes I run in the morning, sometimes, but I'll spend a good hour and a half going through comments on each platform. And at the very least, I like them because I appreciate them. Or I'll comment or I'll respond, or I'll try to mitigate a situation if that's happening.
Yeah.
Now.
But I try. Yeah, exactly. Kids, stop, don't make me turn this car around. Don't make me turn this social media account around. But I try to go through and do that on a regular basis because again, people are taking time to watch the videos, they're engaging, and they're taking the time to comment, and I think that's awesome, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. Barry, have you ever given any thought into what you call your fans? Like, you know, how, like Taylor Swift has Swifties and there's a beehive.
Sandy's.
Have you ever given any thought into it?
What is this, Greece?
Sandy. Yes. Yeah.
No. No,
Well,
I have not.
I have.
Oh boy.
Because Paul has. He's got some suggestions.
Is that
Let me
the
run
time?
No, sir, please.
I've written them down.
I'm going to run a few by you, and they're terrible. But I thought they'd be fun.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
first
prepared.
one.
I'm prepared. Okay.
Legion of the Loaf? No, he doesn't like it. Okay. The Sandwich Scholars? Nope. Okay. What about the bread brigade?
Okay.
And here's my favorite.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Hope you like this one. Barry's Bunch. or the Berry Bunch.
The Berry Bunch.
You know what? I can't comment on that last one at all. Oh. It's got my name in it. I can't do that. That's weird.
We've got some good suggestions in the comments. Okay.
What?
Steve Nara says Witchers. Yeah.
Witchers. Okay.
And then
Netflix
I think this is Daniel.
Loafies.
Says Loafies.
Loafy beats to make sandwich twos. Sorry, Barry. Yeah. Now we're
Barry's buns. Ooh, I like this one.
Liza, I don't think
Sammy's.
That's
I like Sammy's.
Sammy's is pretty
Sammy's. Good. Yeah, you can greet them like, "Hey, Sammy's." Yeah.
It's no bread brigade, but it's fine.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine. Well, you know, again, we have another. I want to bring up another comment from Steve, who is been a long time fan. He's a great dude here. Also, just celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday, Steve!
Nice.
Oh, happy birthday,
Steve says, I applaud you for taking actual fearless bites. I would probably take cautious nibbles at first. It is something that I noticed about you, and I loved immediately. He's like, you're just like all in. Like, is that tactical? Is that the best way to get the full sandwich experience?
Yeah, well, I find that if I do a nibble, I might not get the full flavor of the sandwich, for better or for worse. And, you know, the whole commit to the bit concept, it's more like commit to the bite, right?
Yeah.
You gotta taste it. And so I taste it, even if turns out to be completely awful. Because most of the time it doesn't turn out to be awful. Most of the time the sandwiches are at least okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, you know, they all like live. Have you ever? I mean, you have this spreadsheet, and now I'm gonna geek out a little bit, like algorithmically, I think. Have you ever tried to like run an algorithm, see like what your most common ranking is?
Like the most popular sandwiches?
I have not run.
Oh, your most common ranking.
Yeah.
Common ranking.
I could explore that spreadsheet all day long and give you different data points that would be so fascinating, and they'd be color coded and in pie charts.
Well, let's see.
He's got it pulled up. I don't know why I didn't think you were in front of a computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be anecdotal.
Okay.
You can.
Sorry, Barry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
You can highlight the whole thing. It'll give you a sum in the bottom. Like highlight the whole column. The bottom it'll give you a sum, and then it'll tell you how many you've highlighted, and then do a quick math to get the average. Yeah. That's not going to be your average. It's not going to be your most popular. Or you can just sort them by your rankings, and then you can just visually see how big each section is.
I've got them sorted by rankings.
The bread brigade needs to know.
We need to know.
You're gonna push that rock uphill, aren't you?
Steve Nara says this is your sandwich spreadsheet. Get it?
Oh,
damn it, Steve.
Steve, this is our show.
Steve gets the job.
Nice, Steve.
I think most of them hang out in the 7 to 7.5 range.
Okay.
Probably 6 to 7.5. That's, I think, the sweet spot, or where most of them are, based on looking at the column visually.
You can call your fans the chef's kisses.
You laughed at Barry's Bunch, and you liked. Fine.
We'll get there. We're circling it.
Oh, this is a good question. I don't know, Barry, how gross this question is, but Dwayne says, have you ever come close to like an upchuck? Like, is that ever happened.
Like a
Not
gag?
happened.
Thankfully, no. But I've had.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we've all had moments in our lives where we put something in our mouth, we ate it, and we're like, "Oh God, no!"
No.
But thankfully, that has not happened with a sandwich yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, the closest would probably be there's an open faced sandwich that called for canned asparagus, and that brought back nightmares of asparagus when I was a kid. I love
It's so
asparagus now,
slimy.
but the canned asparagus was just awful.
Canned.
that that's a good segue into it, Barry. What did you like? What kind of sandwiches did you eat as a kid? I mean, they weren't, all of this full range of historical sandwiches. What were your staples?
Fried bologna, for sure.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and
Same.
jelly, peanut butter and dill pickle.
Ooh,
Yes. Oh, it's good.
What?
that's so bad.
It is not bad. You cannot say it.
Unfriended.
You have to try it.
I'm going to go in the comment section of your channel and talk about how terrible
If
it
you don't
is.
try it, you can't say it's bad. You can say you might not like it, but you can't say it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
try
it's
it.
bad. You can't stop me. Don't tell me how
That's
to live
it.
my
This
life.
is over. We're done here.
Sandwich diva.
Autumn, this can't keep
I
happening.
told you this would
Please.
happen, Paul.
I can think of two bologna sandwiches,
Mhm.
PB and J, and the sandwich I remember my dad making whenever my mom wasn't around because it was the only thing that he could make were Spam sandwiches with mayo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have grown probably an unhealthy love for Spam. I don't eat it too often anymore, but
Probably a good idea.
have any of your sandwiches? I mean, I've seen a lot of them. Any Spam so far?
Not yet. There are probably some mid-century ones that are like 60s that are going to have them in there, but I haven't gotten to
They
those
must.
yet. But
I'm
my
sure
fried bologna
Spam
sandwich
would have
was
put out recipes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the fried bologna sandwich was my dad's specialty. That was his thing.
I remember. Dwayne says fried bologna is a gourmet treat. Yes,
I gotta agree.
remember
It's
it being
delicious.
somehow fancier. It's fancy. Like if I'm gonna take the time to fry it up, like, ooh, I'm like a chef when I was a kid.
It is fancier. Don't let anyone tell you
You're gonna
otherwise.
flip it and like
Yeah,
it's a whole
get
thing.
caramelization on the outside.
Yeah, it's great.
It's making me hungry. I knew that was gonna be a problem. I didn't eat dinner before this on purpose because I was like, oh, I'm gonna feel full. Now it's worse because I'm hungry. Well, Barry, another thing that me and Daniel planned that we thought would be really funny, and I didn't tell Autumn about this. I just told Daniel about 42 minutes ago. I know you're not, we are a pop culture show. We are very deep into fandom in general. I want to bring up some pop culture icons that anyone would know. You have a global account, so anyone globally would know them. And I want you to recommend what kind of sandwich you think you would make for this fictional, and in one case, not fictional, pop culture icon. Daniel, let's bring up the first one here.
Challenge.
Darth Vader from the Star Wars films.
Well, he might enjoy that oyster sandwich.
Barry, what would
He'd
you
have
make
to-
for him?
Wow. I think I'd make him a grilled cheese, but I'd burn it.
Nice. Got him.
I was gonna say whatever you make him has to fit through the slots.
Yeah.
So you have to
His
cut it
helmet,
into little
push it
pieces.
through.
Yeah, you just
He could
squish
take off
it.
his helmet and just cram it into his gaping maw.
Yeah.
He does. Oh,
like
nice.
sand.
Oh, he is on
Steve,
fire today.
we talked about this, Steve.
He's bringing it.
You cannot be better than we are, okay?
Yeah, you can feed him that yeast sandwich. He'll do the like.
Exactly.
I hate you. I hate you.
You're no longer my son.
Yeah, that is okay.
Oh,
So we'll get him a
man.
grilled cheese that's just really grilled
and
on just
burn
one
it.
side at first.
Burnt.
We'll
Just
burn it.
burnt.
Daniel,
And
let's
really,
bring
really
up.
hot cheese. Really hot cheese too. Like spicy.
I hate you, he'll say.
Daniel, let's bring up the next fictional character. Barry, what kind of sandwich would you make for Captain America?
I'm thinking BLT, baby.
Yeah,
yeah.
good old. I was thinking like
All
a
American.
all American
classic.
BLT.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, because I don't feel like he likes a lot of spicy foods. Like he grew up in a
No.
bygone era of
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the 40s. So he was in the 40s, right? So a lot of the sandwiches he was eating, Barry, were in like 36, 35. What kind of sandwiches were you suspect they were making at that time?
They were all, so there's one of the books I reference is called 1001 Sandwiches, and it was published in 1936.
Wow.
And they have some weird ones in there, and they have some like smoked salmon ones in there, like smoked salmon sandwich. So it runs the gamut. So especially, you got to figure with 1001 sandwiches, they ain't all going to be home runs. So
we've got 2 suggestions from the audience: a BLT or a ham and cheese.
Nice choice.
Okay.
Like
Dwayne says PB&J.
that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, let's bring up the last one. These are real people. Someone we've talked about, Barry. Maybe you can infer. Daniel, bring it up. What kind of sandwich would you make for the Clash? You're a big fan of the Clash. You've got them all in front of you. They're hungry. What kind of sandwich would you make that you think all 4 of these lovely folks would like?
So based on my understanding of the relationship with America, I'd probably make them a cheeseburger. Just a nice, greasy cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Nothing British, because they really did have a love-hate affair with America.
They sure did.
And I think that a cheeseburger would hit the spot. They would go for that.
What if you flattened a cheeseburger so it was like a sandwich?
It's a patty melt.
And then like burger bun, but just like smashed down. So that's like they're eating a sandwich, but they're like destroying this American classic before they eat it. So it's like love hate,
Let's go nuts. Let's take a hamburger. Let's squish it down. Let's do it again. That'll be our bread. Then we put a cheeseburger between that.
In between it. So it's a hamburger sandwich.
That just sounds like the marketing campaign for KFC. When they do all
sounds like something that Carl's Jr. is going to make.
Total excess.
For the late night crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Wrap the whole thing in a burrito. And make a sandwich out of that.
Then deep fry it like a chimichanga.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a side salad, please.
And a Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, and a Diet Coke.
Because I'm watching.
Well, thank you, Barry. I wanted to just throw those out. You wanted to see what the first thing that came to mind was.
Daniel's got a hot take question idea.
Oh, okay. Daniel says, hot take question idea. Barry, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes. And I've got two reasons why it is. The first one is completely vague and not satisfying. The second one is a little more reasoned out. The first one is, it is, if you want it to be, because everything is made up.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's all just molecules, man.
Everything is made
all
up.
Molecules.
Sandwiches don't occur in nature. And the names of things, the categories, it's all made up. So yes, have yourself a hot dog closet. Now, the reason I actually think it is a sandwich, the real reason, is because if we look at the bun, 2 sides equal thickness. Hinge, nowhere near as thick. So to me, it is the idea is that they need to keep the cylindrical meat between the 2 slices of bread, so the hinge is an accommodation for that. And much in the way like sub shops cut the bread, but they still leave a hinge. That's still a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that indicates that it counts as a sandwich as opposed to like
That's
a taco, which
best
is uniform and it's
point.
slim.
Yeah. That's actually the best point that I think is hard to get around is the fact that a sub sandwich, it's a sandwich, but it is a piece of bread sliced not all the way through.
Yeah.
And then there's meat in the middle or something in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandwich engineering with Barry Underwick.
Sandwich engineering.
Sandwich nearing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry about her, Barry.
No, don't apologize. There's no apology.
Barry, I know we're coming up on time here, but one of the things that I also wanted to talk about. Yeah, an hour flies by, right?
It really did.
Really fast.
I'm like, okay, when's the next half hour?
Let's go.
We can go as long as you want.
We can do. I have a conspiracy theory to bring up too. By the way, I'm going to save it to the end.
Okay, so we'll wait for Autumn's insane conspiracy theory, but I wanted to talk about, Barry, the success of your channel. First of all, again, I do love it. We love so many things about the positivity of it. What about the other content creators that you are maybe friends with? I know I've seen in several interviews, not to alarm you, but I do a creepy amount of research on our guests. And so I watched, a few of your interviews, and one of them, I think you were doing with the Doughboys. You talk about Jim, the sandwich idiot, and oh Oh, I have his other name.
John, Sandwich Dad.
John. Yes, Sandwich Dad.
Mm-hmm.
What does the like sandwich content community look like? I mean, is it very is it very collaborative?
Yeah, well, John and Jim and I are friends. We have a chat going on Messenger that we tap into every once in a while, and we'll send each other ingredients. We'll try each other's sandwiches, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty collaborative, and it's pretty. Please hold. Someone will be right with you.
Thank you, Barry.
I appreciate your business, but anyway, yeah, no, the guys are great. I met them via TikTok and Instagram. And Jim, my God, if you go to his website, Sandwich Tribunal, that he's an encyclopedia of sandwiches. Like I think I know something about sandwiches. Sandwich Tribunal is just like a treasure trove of sandwiches and making them. So definitely you should check that out.
Just sandwichtribunal.com. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Sandwichtribunal.com. And John, Sandwich Dad, is just a great guy. He's fun. He makes interesting sandwiches, and every once in a while he'll try sandwiches history. But the one thing that's amazed me about this channel is like I've gotten to collaborate with them. I've gotten to know and collaborate with Bill Oakley, who is a writer for The Simpsons, Futurama, and
oh wow,
showrunner. Yeah, he wrote the steamed hams sketch.
Yes.
From Simpsons, like. And he's a great guy. I just met up with him in San Francisco last week. He was here doing a show for his very quickly killed Mission Hill animated series. But I've got to do that. Like I had guest hosts on that I honestly would never in a million years thought that H. John Benjamin would have come on and done a guest episode of Sandwiches of History.
That was it. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I love this question from Jen. Is there a secret sandwich maker sandwich summit?
No, but that sounds fun to say.
Yeah, it sure does. My other question is
Sandwich Con.
Paul. This is a question for Paul. Paul, don't you think it'd be a good idea to invite all of them on a show and we could play we could play games with everybody and like competitive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think these guys
so fun.
Would love to be on. Yeah, absolutely.
We should have a whole sandwich panel.
Like, Barry, I saw that. I think you were on, I mean, this is maybe a year and a half ago when you were on vacation, or maybe it could have been some other, absence you had, but you actually have guests come in and do Sandwiches of History. I don't know how much you do of it now, but have you had any interactions with, professional chefs, people who don't, in the industry? What about any memorable experiences you can share with us?
Well, I mean, I got Chef Mason Hereford from Turkey and the Wolf in Hungry Eyes and Molly's Rise and Shine in New Orleans. He guest hosted. And then when I was in New Orleans, he came in on the live stream that I did when I did the Portuguese sandwich, which the name I will butcher right now. It's like Franciscania. But it's a beast to do. And I had to do it when there's multiple people around because I couldn't eat that whole thing. But he came on, did that. Chef Nini Nguyen came on, and she's currently on the Battle of the Chefs. I forget what the exact name is, but it's on Food Network right now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I've got a lot of chefs who follow and like to play along and communicate, and it's mind blowing to me that they even
what a fun world, man. What a fun community.
Isn't it exciting?
I love it.
That's great. I think the only other question, and then we'll get to Autumn's conspiracy theory that I wrote down that I was really curious about, is this entire thing Barry started with like you organically came up in my feed. I hadn't been following you, and I'm curious if we were sitting side by side with you, scrolling through your Instagram or TikTok, majoritively. What's on your feed? Like, what do you enjoy consuming when you're not consuming Incredible Oyster sandwiches?
Cooking. Cooking videos. Yeah. My feeds are primarily cooking. That and I like old obscure music video. There's a channel called Deletism on TikTok, or on I think they're on TikTok, but they're definitely on Instagram, and they play old videos that you won't see anywhere else, probably. And it's all
old, like
70s, late 70s, early 80s. Sometimes a little later 80s.
I'm following that. That sounds
they're not all fantastic, but it's kind of cool to be exposed to. Yeah. And some I remember because I'm old.
Yeah. Same Z's.
Yeah. So,
not me. I'm a youth.
Yep.
Good for you, buddy.
I don't feel it.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be, not a real comment because I feel old. But
You're a whippersnapper.
I am. Don't let the gray hair fool you at all.
No.
That's all from working with me. So
That is 10 years of working with Autumn. Barry, thank you for being subjected to all of our questions. Again, we were such huge fans.
This was a lot of fun.
Autumn, you had a conspiracy theory. I want to hear it.
Okay. What was the name of the friend that inspired you? Adam?
Yes.
Adam.
Is it possible, have you considered, that this is like a Tyler Durden Fight Club situation? Like, has anyone else talked to Adam around you?
Is Adam in the room with us?
Is Adam in the room with us right now?
Well, he's out. He's collecting fat so we can make bars of soap. No. Adam is real. He lives in Arizona with his wife and kids. He's a real person.
Okay.
It's not like your high school, your friend's high school girlfriend from Canada.
Exactly. I'm just saying, he seems to like really inspire you quite a bit. Just keeps giving you ideas, and I'm like, maybe he's just a muse in your head.
We connect. He's a marketing guy as well, mainly in the B2B space. And
we don't talk about club sandwich, Steve.
Oh man, you're gonna have to.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve's gonna have to guest host.
How do you time out someone on YouTube again? Hold on.
No,
Daniel.
Don't do that. Come on.
I
love it.
That's great. Barry, can you talk a little bit? Sorry, I know I promised no more questions, but I'm curious about like your other channels a little bit, especially your Cooking with Barry, because I think predominantly, people's introduction to you will be sandwiches, of course. And I'm a huge fan of the ice cream one, but what about what is your relationship with like cooking in general? Did you grow up cooking? Like, did you go to take classes, or is it just like a passion project?
So I would say that I grew up not understanding why people liked fresh vegetables or steak or any of the things that I love as an adult, because unfortunately my mother was not a great cook. Her idea of cooking asparagus was break open the bag of frozen asparagus, put it in a baking dish with a stick of butter, and cook it in a microwave for 10 minutes. I was just like, I like steak. For the longest time, I thought, why do people like steak? This is like shoe leather. Why would they like this? So then, in my mid-20s, I met my significant other and her family, and her mom used to own a Danish tea room, a restaurant. And she subscribed to Gourmet. She subscribed to Bon Appetit. And I started like hanging out with them on Thanksgiving, and I would look at those cooking magazines, and I started getting into it. They love to cook and they love to eat. And that kind of sparked my passion for trying to learn to cook and not to eat. I was good at that already. But yeah, I started cooking then, and I've just been experimenting ever since. And the Barry's cooking again, I started because I kept running into these recipes on TikTok that I want to try, and I've never tried, and maybe blah. And that's how it started. And now it's more like also sharing dishes that I like to cook on a regular basis that people might not know about that are fantastic. So yeah, it's just a general love cooking channel.
Do you do all the cooking in the house, I'm guessing? Or is it do you guys have fun like cooking together?
No.
No.
Well, we're both we want to do the thing. So
yeah.
But
She's a different dietary choices than you do, so that must be tricky.
But no, it's not, because like at dinner I will eat what she eats. Like we'll do mostly vegan dinner, but it's not like we don't sit down and go, what vegan dinner can we do? But like yesterday we sauteed a bunch of oyster mushrooms and spiced up with chili powder and a little bit of cumin, and then add some pinto beans with a lot of Mexican oregano and other spices in it, and had tacos that were that. And
that sounds good.
It was fantastic. It was vegan, but it was fantastic. So
yeah,
I like to try, and I like to try different vegetarian substitutions and vegan things. Like I did a smoked cauliflower, head of cauliflower that you soaked in was a tikka masala, spices, you marinate it, and then you go smoke it, and it was fantastic. So it's just I just love cooking. So yeah, the dietary differences are not an issue.
Not really
Not a
thing.
factor.
Okay.
No, because I mean, I'll every once in a while I'll grill something for dinner and then make something for her, or
Yeah.
like I eat a lot of meat on the Sandwiches of History, so there you go.
You're kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Love it.
Well, I think Jen Edwards is asking the pivotal question for the night, and this is a good one that we can close out. Pretty straightforward. That you've been asked a ton, but we have to know. What's your favorite sandwich, Barry? And I know that because I've researched. I know there are mitigating circumstances between like what's the weather, how you're feeling, what's going on,
how hungry am I?
How hungry are you? So at this moment, at the 60th minute on this episode, Barry, what is your favorite sandwich?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the tomato from Turkey and the Wolf in New Orleans.
Yes,
it is a sandwich that has no business being as good as it is, and it is ridiculous how good it is. And it just happens to be vegetarian, but whatever. It's tomato, mayonnaise, toasted Texas toast, sunflower seeds, lemon, basil, and dill. And it's like you bite into it thinking, oh, this is going to be pretty good. And it's so much better than you could ever imagine, especially when you get tomatoes in the middle of summer.
Oh, that sounds so good.
So
my mouth actually watered.
I know.
I'm so hungry.
I'm entranced. I'm just saying more things about sandwiches.
You gotta make it. I've made it twice outside of Sandwiches of History.
Oh wow, is that pretty rare
so
for you?
good.
Yeah, like if we're going to San Francisco, I'll go to a sandwich shop that's well known and get a sandwich or something like that. But if we're just going around town, I don't tend to eat sandwiches outside the house, and I don't tend to make a lot of sandwiches outside of Sandwiches of History because I have them.
You're covered.
So, but yeah, that one is one that I have made a couple of times and I will make again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I believe it's pinned right on a couple of your social channels.
It's definitely pinned on Instagram. It was pinned on TikTok until they had a falling out with that record or with that music label. And they just stripped out all the audio, so it's worthless now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a
you guys
whole
want
episode.
Sandwiches of History on Instagram if you want to make that sandwich yourself. I love when you also repost people who have made your sandwiches. I love seeing that. Like I think it's so cool. And or the sandwiches you've made, they're not yours per se, but the sandwiches that you've introduced them to.
Yep.
But Barry, thank you so much.
The tomato, by the way, the tomato, by the way, is far and away the sandwich that gets remade and shared the most.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love it.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was doing my absolute best to do a whole thing where I was like, this one, like I was going to prepare it.
Gonna have it right here.
I just did not have the time because of my freaking primary job.
Work.
Yeah. This job I have.
I know. But that one is the one that I've seen. I loved it. Honestly, so much.
Yeah.
So Barry, thank you so much for joining us.
Much.
Seriously, I mean, you're always welcome back. We promise Daniel won't have any spelling errors next time.
We promise nothing.
I apologize.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, Autumn. Let's go with that. But no, it was tremendous fun. The hour just flew by, and that's always a good sign, right? I do like the idea of having John and Jim on because
let's 100%.
Oh,
Sandwich Tribunal for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll have you guys meet in secret, like a. Oh man, it'll be. My brain's already writing the outline.
We discussed doing a podcast together called Sandwich Talk.
Yes, I will listen to that so hard.
We have. We have
clubs
at the time.
Club Sandwich.
The Sandwich Club.
That was the name of my Patreon account until I shut it down. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Well, sounds like the domain's up for grabs, Autumn.
Boom.
Barry, what if you have a second and you don't mind, is there anything that we can drive that you want to drive people to? Anything you want to talk about you've got coming up? I know you've been teasing a cookbook for a while.
No, I've got it. The cookbook's coming out in probably late October. I'm going to be attending. They're doing a photo shoot, starting the photos right now. I've turned the manuscript in. It was done last week, and then I'm attending a photo shoot. The rest of the photo shoot next week, But that's going to be coming up in fall. And then I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea of doing some sort of tour where I do events. We're making sandwiches and that kind of stuff, but I don't know the first thing about organizing it. I don't know the first thing about logistics. I don't know anything about it. So I'm like, I don't know.
Ooh, we've got some names for you. Hold on. For this show. The Sandwich Summit Stream.
There you go. Okay.
Substantial Sandwich Society. And the Panini Posse.
Those all sound like book titles for a series of unfortunate events.
That's true, right? Yeah.
And I think if you do a tour, I think that you would like have a bunch of ingredients out and you would have the audience at random like pick, and then you'd have to assemble a sandwich out of those, which is making you create new sandwiches as opposed to following recipes. Could be fun.
That's an interesting idea. I thought about having like a plus up contest where 3 people would come up and they would choose what plus up they were going to do for the sandwich, and then I'd get to evaluate it, and someone would win.
I love
That'd be a first, second, third.
That'd be fun too.
And you can do it like Chopped, but it's real serious, and they lift the top.
Yeah.
It's the oyster and yeast sandwich.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
that would be great.
We'll see. It's a lot to think about. I don't know how the first thing about planning a tour like that. So
every which way but loose, and the deli devotees.
Love that.
We got so many ideas here.
I know.
We're an idea factory here.
I know where to come next time for my brain.
We really are.
Absolutely.
We are perfectly, much like a hot dog bun, perfectly unhinged. So, Barry, seriously, man, thank you so much for being here. You're great. We appreciate you. We will be reaching out. This is live 100%. And now legally binding. So about having you and the rest of the Bread Brigade on, maybe?
Yeah.
No, he's liking it.
I like that.
Sorry,
Barry,
what?
That my audio cut out.
Yeah,
he's like, sorry, I couldn't.
I'm sorry, I'm going through the tunnel.
Sorry, I was ignoring that because it's stupid.
No.
This is a PG show, please.
Oh, my bad.
You have to stay dumb. We've talked about this. Barry, again, thank you so much. I have no doubt that this is not the last time that we'll be talking with you. Seriously, you're great. Yeah. Everyone, please go to sandwichesofhistory.com. You can follow Barry on Instagram, on TikTok. He's got multiple accounts. If you
Reddit now?
Reddit.
We didn't know.
AKA Breddit. Oh, I feel good.
We're so good at this. We're on a roll.
Barry. He's like, man, this outro
I'm kidding.
Forever.
It's our Minnesota goodbye.
Yeah.
We're known for these. We start our endings multiple times.
This is. You should talk to my significant other. When we would go to parties in our, in our 20s, 30s, and she'd be like, "Are you done?" Well, I'm just saying goodbye. It's like you started a half hour ago. What is going on?
That's me. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Both of us to our significant others, we are the problem. So it's a show full of problems. Love it. All right. But again, everyone, sandwichesofhistory.com.
Focus.
Autumn and Barry, Daniel has prepared some memes to show us out of this stream. I have not seen these. So Daniel is going to show some bread memes, some sandwich memes for Barry. But everyone, thank you all so much. We'll see you next week. We've got a pop culture news and headline show. As always, thank you, Barry, so much.
Thank you so much.
Sandwiches of History. Thank you. Follow them everywhere. We'll see you out. Bye, everyone.
That's terrible.
That's you know what? That's terrible.
No.
Yeah, that's a sandwich, technically.
Oh no! You know what? I'm ending it.
These are crimes.
Those are bread crimes.
Bread crime.
Thank you all so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
We appreciate you. Like what you love what you like, and don't be an oyster sandwich about it. Bye, everyone.
All right.
We'll see you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The bread? That's upsetting, Daniel.
I served sandwich memes. I was scrambling. It was